So what do we do about this white text here? And you see we also have that if we hop over to our design. Down here at the bottom, the top navigation. So when it comes to applying this white color to just these specific elements, the question is, what's the best way to do that? There seems to be two options. The first is that we can create a meaningful class name around the element. So for here, for example, we could call the element site footer copyright. Again, because we're using a SMAX style of naming our classes, we would take the component name, which is site footer, and we'd append it with the name of the element. And then we would style that element in a particular way. And then for this navigation, we would do the same thing. We'd call it site footer top nav or something like that. And then we'd add the color style to it. Alternatively, we could create a class that we can use throughout the footer in order to style things with that class with a different color. So we could use a class name called something like lighter. Or in this case, we would prefix site footer, so site footer lighter. And anything that had it would have this white color instead of the default light gray. Now going that route seems like it could be simpler, and it also affords us the flexibility of adding that class to other elements in the footer and being able to change the color just like that. But I think that it could paint us into a corner if we end up adding classes to things just to change one CSS property, in this case the color of the text. Once we start doing that, it's a little bit more like we're adding style tags to our elements, but we're kind of finding a backdoor by using classes instead of the style property directly. Also, if we use class names that are meaningful for what the content actually is, screen readers can actually use those class names to get more information about the content that's inside them. It's not necessarily super common, but it does happen. So let's give unique class names to the elements that are going to be styled differently that describe what those elements are, rather than naming it after the visual difference between them and the rest of the content of the footer.